What's up everyone? Today we're looking at the new Land Cruiser Prado. In front of us is the GX version, which is the entry level, and this is the automatic. So they all come with the 2.8 litre turbo diesel, which puts out 134 kilowatts of power and 420 newton meters of torque, which is pretty decent, but it is a heavy car. It comes in at 2240 kilograms, so 2.2 tons for the GX, and then all the way up to the Kakadu, which is almost 2500 kilos, so it's a pretty heavy car. Now you've got a 2.8 litre turbo diesel, which is pretty decent. Then you can go to the Saharas where you get V8s, but the diesel's pretty efficient and has a decent amount of pull for towing. You've got your 17-inch Dunlops here, the 265 55 R17s, which are pretty chunky and they have a bit of heft to them, so they are pretty good for off-roading or whatever you're going to do with the Prado. Your ground clearance is huge at the bottom, so you will be able to go four-wheel driving with that huge suspension, even in the GX, which is the entry-level model. Now we've got these cicadas making noises here in Australia, so don't mind them. At the back you've got your rear view camera, your spare tyre, but the GX doesn't have sensors, not at the back or at the front. I guess that's the whole point of it being the entry level, but it would be good to have at least rear sensors for parking. Now we'll take a look at the boot. Because this is a 5-seater, you have 640 litres worth of storage at the back. As you can see, it's quite huge. Now you can also get the 7-seater in this version and all the other versions. So you start with the GX and then you move up to the GXL, the VX, and then the Kakadu, which is the top of the line, which has 7 seats and a bit more space. So it's still got a decent amount of space. It also has, I like this here, an actual plug that you can connect, which is really cool. And then you've just got your goodies here for your tires. Oh, put that back before it goes away, and then some more storage in there. And there's your little lock and your little handle to close the boot. You come around, you've got your fuel tank, which is a 150 litre tank. So it's got an 87 litre main tank plus a 63 litre sub tank, which most of them will have that sub tank model. Now you can put your tow bar connected at the back. You've obviously got to get it hooked up, and you can tow 3 tons worth, which is really good because you'll be able to pull most with that. The manual does have a bit less towing power. It's only 2.5 tons, so it's ideal to get the auto. Now we're going to the back. You've got a heap amount of space here. Because this is the GX, there's no leather accents or any form of fancy interiors. It's just fabric seating, really nothing too crazy there. And you've got another 12-volt connector here. It would have been good to have USB ports there, but given that this is an old technological car, it doesn't have the best tech in it. You've got a decent amount of space there for your legs, especially for 3 passengers, which we've tested it with, and it's pretty decent for 3 people to fit there. It's pretty comfy. Now we go to the front, and more space here for the passenger. You've got, now we're just looking here, you've got, that's option 1, which is your wallet and phone, I guess, and then option 2, and I've already put a tissue in there, but there's a lot more space that you can put in there. You've got your 12-volt connector and a USB port and audio. A bit of space here, which would be for your keys. Don't mind the tripod. 2 water bottle holders. Then you've got, this is where your 4-wheel drive is controlled, H4 and L4. There's your traction, your diff, second start, and your hill control. Because this has down hill assist control and hill start assist control, but only on the auto for the GX, whereas the multi-terrain system and the kinetic dynamics suspension system, that's the Kakadu only, which basically just hardcore 4-wheel driving. Now here's your 8-inch touchscreen, which unfortunately doesn't have CarPlay yet, but Toyota has gone onto it. This doesn't have triple climate either, which is what the higher models would get. This one does not. Again, it is the entry level, starting at around 56 grand for the auto and 53 grand for the manual, so it's not bad on price point, but it is worth going up to the GX. And here is your glove box. So there's this amount of space inside. We'll just make our way around to the front. So it's got the Toyota Safety Sense, so it's got the active cruise control and forward collision assist, but it doesn't have the blind spot monitor, all the sensors, all the pano monitor, like a 360 monitor, which the higher models do have. Now you've got your eco indicator. After refueling, well, that's because it's a huge tank, you get huge range. People are getting 1,000 k's plus on these on the motorway. And my digital speedo, which I use the most. On the steering wheel, you've got your volume controls, and over here is your cruise control and lane keeping assist. So it's got a fair few features here. I wish this screen would have been better because there isn't much going on there. And I like this little compartment here. It's basically where I can fit my wallet easily, and my keys as well, although they do fall out. So I basically just keep the wallet there. The audio is the standard system. The higher end models get the JBL 14 speaker system, which is a lot better, and you will notice it. The audio in this one is average. So there it is, a quick walkthrough review, which we've taken a look at. The turbo diesel model here, and it is good for off-roading. It does well. It's got plenty of features for an entry level, but you're obviously going to make a lot more use out of the GXL, the VX, and the Kakadu, which have a lot more features, especially the Kakadu with all its multi-terrain, adaptive variable suspension, and so many more features that you wouldn't get in this. But for the price, starting at 56 grand, it's really good, it's really comfy, and it's such a big ride. And if you get the 7-seat option as well, which you can in the GX, it's basically the perfect combination of everyday car and off-roader if you want to do that as well, and can fit 7 people in there. So there it is. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the full review, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
But this time it's not about escaping. We don't feel